A friend of mine who is a Jewish rabbi told me recently that in the Hebrew tradition, Satan is something like a modern-day prosecutor raising objections in a courtroom. In today's gospel, following up his profession of faith in Jesus as Messiah and Son of the living God, St. Peter earns the title of Satan from Jesus. Why? Well, when Jesus questions his disciples about what people think of him, it's Peter who confesses that Jesus is the Messiah, the Son of God, for which Jesus commends Peter. Then almost immediately after that, in the passage we read today at Mass, Jesus speaks of his suffering and death, which will happen in Jerusalem. Peter, as Matthew relates, took Jesus aside and began to rebuke him. "God forbid, Lord, no such thing shall ever happen to you." As Satan, he raises obstacles for Jesus. And in that, Peter's thoughts are not godly, Jesus says. Poor Peter. We can understand him not wanting any harm to come to Jesus, and perhaps for Peter and the other disciples as well. But on closer reflection, we can see what Jesus is saying. To play things safe, to avoid the consequences of preaching the kingdom, is not his mission, and it can't be for the disciples either. Of course, it's a human reaction to want to save one's life. We want to preserve our ego, bolster our image, wrap ourselves in selfishness. But in following Jesus, our true self is discovered, or better, revealed by God, when we commit to losing our lives. For the disciples, and for Peter eventually, following Jesus meant giving their all, martyrdom for most of them, something we perhaps will never know. But for all of us, the path to the kingdom is worth accepting in exchange for one's life.